What if all the buildings in the world took the bland shape of a box with nothing to distinguish them from each other? Weird, right? Well, we have our architects to thank for all the breathtaking structures around us. Architecture is not just a dance of pen and ruler on paper. It's a game of the mind, and although many have ventured into the field, only a few have been able to distinguish themselves as the best. These geniuses turned their imaginations into reality, and their dreams have shaped our skylines. Today, we will be diving into the realm of architecture as we reveal the best architects of the 21st century. Architects who have gifted their visionary minds to the world. Let's start our list with one who pushes the boundaries of imagination and possibilities with materials you could never imagine. Frank Gehry. The most radical, distinctive, and well-known architectural creations worldwide are those of Frank Gehry. And this is not an exaggeration. Gehry probably looks at a space and thinks of the most bizarre shapes to fit there. He has ultimately set benchmarks for architectural design in the 21st century with his unique creations, which may seem pretty scary for upcoming architects to beat. How does he do this? Well, his ability to design distinctive buildings that make use of surfaces and forms like the Vitra Design Museum, and his use of unusual materials, including corrugated metal, in his architectural projects that defy common sense are what make him a rugged architect. He eventually got to a point where Vanity Fair called him the most popular architect of the 21st century because of his influence on the architectural field. This is evident in the fact that his structures attract a lot of tourists who come to see his amazing ideas and beautiful architectural achievements. We are talking about structures that will force you to drop your jaws in awe. Gehry's most remarkable architectural creations are the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, the Walt Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles, and the Marqués de Riscal Vineyard Hotel in El Ciego. Frank Lloyd Wright. Pretty amazing, and coincidental how two Franks got our top two spots. Well, to be frank with you, it was much deserved. You cannot name architects without mentioning Frank Lloyd Wright. Certain architecture lovers have rated Frank Lloyd Wright as the most well-liked architect of all time. He earned this impression through his use of both exterior and interior spaces. Let me explain this. You see, Frank Wright creates buildings where everything blends into one another. For example, one of his designs, Taliesin West, has long buildings and flat roofs that merge perfectly with the desert landscape. The internal spaces are naturally lit by sunshine, thanks to the canvas roofing and the terraces and walkways that link the different buildings, providing a feeling of continuity between the indoor and outdoor areas. What hits us hardest is that Lloyd never went to an architecture school. Instead, he picked up architectural knowledge from another well-known architect of the era, Louis Sullivan, who taught him prairie-style work and organic influences. The Falling Water Residence in Mill Run, the Guggenheim Museum in New York City, and the Gamage Auditorium at Arizona State University are among Wright's most notable architectural creations. Moving on, our next architect is said to be a master with no signature style. Jean Nouvel. After developing a childhood fascination for construction, buildings, and drawings, and a brief introduction to aviation by his father, Jean pursued a career in architecture. He began the journey by working for several firms under prominent architects, including Paul Virilio, and somehow building his own pattern where his use of materials is bold and inventive, emphasizing light and space. In doing that, he has become unafraid to push the envelope and try out new concepts. He even pushed himself towards his goal of establishing his firm, Atelier Jean Nouvel. Because of his skill and knowledge, he could combine the interior French doors with other patterns that resemble Arabic latticework. This skill has earned architect Jean Nouvel, who is now based in France, numerous honors for his outstanding designs, including the Pritzker Prize in 2008. Among his notable architectural creations are Ziati an Day in Prague, Gasometer A in Vienna, Louvre Abu Dhabi, and the Arab World Institute in Paris. Our next maestro of design is a woman known for her daring and futuristic style, Zaha Hadid. If you ever thought a woman couldn't make history in a field densely populated by men, then this should surprise you. Zaha Hadid's name is quickly becoming a household name for reference when discussing 21st century architectural designs. She became the first female architect to win the Pritzker Architecture Prize. Born in Iraq, Hadid defied the odds to win this coveted honor, which is seen as a Nobel Peace in the architectural sector. Hadid's distinct designs are defined as artistic, futuristic, adventurous, and unconventional. With projects like the London Aquatic Centre and the Guangzhou Opera House, Hadid pushed the boundaries of architecture. If you noticed, most of her works have these fluid, dynamic forms, which demonstrate her deep awareness of space and movement and help her establish that innovative legacy that continues to inspire millions of upcoming architects. According to Forbes magazine, although some of her architectural projects were never executed, she was named the 69th most important woman in 2008. Hadid's most notable architectural works include the Opera House in Guangzhou, the Berghaus ski jump in Innsbruck, and the Fino Science Center. Moving on, we have Eo Ming Pei. Pei is a Chinese-born architect who studied architecture in the United States as a young adult. Ming Pei later rose to prominence as a leading architect in the 21st century. While beginning his modest career, Pei drew inspiration from Cubism and often thought of architecture as similar to painting and sculpture. And so, decades later, Pei's architectural creations remain distinct and recognized for their striking geometric forms. Over time, Pei learned to incorporate Chinese ideas into his worldwide architectural designs. For example, Pei's design of the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Colorado demonstrates Pei's distinct geometric forms and the beautiful blend of natural elements in their surroundings. The Bank of China Tower in Hong Kong, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Ohio, the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library in Boston, and the Museum of Islamic Art in Doha are just a few of Pei's notable architectural creations. Let's quickly transition to the next architect, one known for mixing sustainability with aesthetics and leaving a mark on the world with amazing projects. Renzo Piano. It is debatable if he is a modern or high-tech architect, but his style cannot be summed up in one word. This is because his style combines elements of constructivism, high-tech, modern architecture, and modernism, which he learned while studying under Louis Kahn. Renzo Piano is renowned for his environmentally friendly designs and painstaking attention to detail. His projects, including the California Academy of Sciences and the Shard in London, balance environmental awareness with practicality to create landmarks that are both elegant and environmentally conscious. What more could one ask for? Despite his vast number of works, Renzo's name is most commonly connected with the Centre Pompidou in Paris. Why is this so? The ultramodern structure after it was built was so out of place in the city that it attracted harsh criticism. However, today, we cannot deny that that building has contributed to the face of Paris. Several other projects, such as the California Academy of Sciences, the Jean-Marie Tjibaou Cultural Center in New Caledonia, and the Paul Klee Center in Bern, have turned into similarly impressive business cards for the Italian architect. Moving on, up next is a titan of modern architecture. Norman Foster. Foster's mastery of form, function, and technical innovation is demonstrated by his famous works, which include the Hearst Tower in New York and the Gherkin in London. His projects are the pinnacle of style, functionality, and appreciation for the urban environment. It is easy to identify Norman Foster's designs thanks to their distinctive mesh facades. The architect claims this style after gaining inspiration from Zhukov, the architect of the well-known Moscow Tower. The Colzarola TV Tower in Barcelona, the Khan Shatyr Shopping and Entertainment Complex in Kazakhstan, and the Mariax skyscraper in London were all built in line with Foster's designs. He also skillfully bridged the two ages when he contributed to the rebuilding of Dresden's Central Station and the Reichstag. In this way, the buildings still had their historical charm, but with contemporary additions added. Ever wondered what inspiration an architect had for a building? Well, here is an architect who tells a story with each of his projects. Ole Sheeran. German architect and urbanist Ole Sheeran was born on January 6, 1971, and he is the owner of the Bureau Ole Sheeran Group. His modern architectural style is seen in several structures, including Singapore's The Interlace, which was awarded World Building of the Year in 2015. All of his projects are known to have a strong modernist aesthetic that adheres to the 3 F's. Form follows functionality. With his ideas, he was able to effectively bring his vision of excellent architecture to life while also adding a little background story. For example, in Singapore's The Interlace, he took 24 separate buildings and layered them on top of one another like Jenga blocks to create a structure that held more green space than it required. Its purpose was to tell the story of Singapore, a place where people always found original methods to solve issues with a spirit of cooperation. After that, he used the same approach for the CCTV headquarters in Beijing and DUO in Singapore, which took home the 2012 MIPIM Asia Awards Best Futura Project title. Rem Koolhaas. The Dutch architect Remmert Lucas. Rem Koolhaas is renowned for his deconstructive design. According to him, deconstructivism involves removing preconceptions and stereotypes from society and changing an entity's identity. That just sounds plausible. Rem was born on November 17, 1944, and he graduated from Cornell University's Architectural Association School of Architecture. When modernism gained popularity in the latter half of the 20th century, Rem started researching the program, a crucial component of architecture, and this eventually evolved into one of his main design themes. In 2000, he was awarded the Pritzker Prize for his style. With no match seen anywhere in the world, Koolhaas' work is a perfect representation of modernist concepts. His work includes the Seoul National University Museum of Art, de Rotterdam, a strangely positioned glass facade, and the Seattle Central Library, which is considered an illustration of his philosophy of deconstructivism by breaking stereotypes and discouraging people from embracing books and print media. Finally, on our list, we have an architect who is known for his minimalist style, where he avoids wasting resources and uses only the necessary to create amazing, affordable, and durable structures. Shigeru Ban. Japanese architect Shigeru Ban was born on August 5, 1957, and is well known for creating cardboard tube housing for disaster relief. He uses invisible structures in his designs. For those who are curious, using the invisible structure, Ban integrates his structural elements into the design rather than overtly expressing them. That means that his designs are simple, using only the materials needed for construction, and the useless design components are excluded. Amazing, right? Well, this goes to say that Shigeru Ban is an advocate for creative material use and humanitarian architecture. His dedication to sustainability, affordability, and social effect is demonstrated by his projects, such as the Centre Pompidou, Metz, and the Cardboard Cathedral in Christchurch. His minimalist works can also be found at the Nomadic Museum, the Aspen Art Museum in Colorado, the Paper Dome in Taiwan, and others. And this is where we end our journey with the best architects of the 21st century. We have seen that these men and women have not only shaped our world, but have also inspired others to dream of how to implement their creativity, passion, and stories. Many more architects have helped create colossal buildings that have transformed the 21st century into a magical place. Let us know in the comments section if there are any architects we may have missed. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like these.